Well, Keith, we were talking yesterday about the card, how it was kind of just all over the place. We had a $119.20 winner that Forest Boyce gave us yesterday. How do you see the card shaping up today a little
Well,
bit?
it's another interesting car. We're going to have
Right.
an off track to deal with. The rain came and it sustained a little bit longer than what we thought, and some wind. So we're left with a sealed, muddy track right now. Some puddles definitely there. We've got an interesting weather that's ahead of us here in this mid-Atlantic region. So first off, everybody be safe out there. That's the biggest key. But yeah, yesterday's track, inside out kind of trips, got it done a lot. It was a great ride by Forest Boys. I saw another really good ride by the X-Man in the feature where Sheila's War Cloud was
Yes.
able to secure the inside into the turn, then work outward mid-turn. Those kind of trips got it done. If they've been good, those kind of trips for the last month or so, consistently good here. That's why I always talk about that inside-out trip. It just seems to work at Laurel Park. Yeah, today, tough little card. We've got a few scratches in here. We're going to kick the day off with a price shot, hopefully. But, yeah, there you have it.
Let's dive into that early pick five, starting in this claiming 8,000 for the girls, 4 and up, 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. Scratching the 3, fool yourself, changes things around a little
Yeah.
bit, Keith, which is why you go with my Super Sally. You just take an opportunity there that you see for Christine Claggett and Darwin Rodriguez at the 10-pound bug.
Yeah, this 8-year-old was in pretty good form. That stepped up against much, a little bit tougher, I thought. That was Maryland Million Day, right? The 14th? No?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Bad temper. Getting my days mixed up here. But anyhow, I thought all in all didn't run terrible. You wanted to be close that particular day. Speed carry. This horse was very wide, made a little middle move around the turn before flattening. Now, a little freshening. Talked about it, was knocking on the door some races prior to that. Got two really speedy horses in here. Tweeterbury Robin used to be quick, but this four shine like a diamond in the 6, Lunina. They look like they could be set up for a little bit of a match race up front.
Okay.
If I had to say dollar for dollar, maybe shine like a diamond's a little bit quicker all in all. When you really get down to it, she really likes an off track. That could move her up. I think she's like 4 for 8, but I think this 5, for looking for value purposes, she's going to drop off of this 20 with the scratch and everything. Just maybe to sit back mid-pack and make a run into those 2 speeds.
And there we have it. A little bit of a price from Keith in the opener in 5-6-4-7 for race at number 1. Keith, let's dive on into your ticket, into your early pick 4, and there we have a single.
Yeah, we got a little lucky yesterday. Hopefully you're along for the ride. We've been close. Today, yeah, a little $12 ticket. I just didn't want to go too crazy here. 3 deep to get started, 1, 4, and 8. Scratch the other part of the entry. The 1A in Box and Ben is out, and the 5, Katie's Notion. Race 3, there's a single. Golden Charm looks like, again, Forest Boys working a good trip from just off the pace. Race 4, a little spread here. 1, 7, 8, 9. I know it's the 1A that steps in there, but you're going to punch the 1 on the machine, aren't you? 1, 7, 8, 9 in race 4. Race 5 with the 2 and the 7. Dalinar Bruder, I think will improve off of debut there for Robbie Bales. $12 ticket.
Starts in a claiming 16,000 for the 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt, scratch in the 1A, scratch in the 5. You and I both have the 1 Casino Tricks, breaking from the 6 post for Hugh McMahon and at J. Ron Barbosa.
Second off a claiming a little bit of a bump off out of a race where the internals were quick. Caught wide against that. Now this race kind of changes a little bit from a pace scenario. Box and Ben I thought was going to be part of the flow. Even Katie's Notion was going to be close. So Hap's Victory might be left alone on the lead, but I think Casino Tricks, second off the claim here, can go ahead and stalk and move into it. This horse is kin to a pretty good sprinter on the main track. Great Days Ahead is definitely live. Is that a video spotlight horse I think we have? Yeah, thank you very much. Great Days Ahead was up at Charlestown 2 races back against horses that have won 5, 4 races because they've got that little West Virginia clause in there. Some of those horses have run some okay races. But Great Days Ahead came back, was a slight favorite here on the 29th. Got off a little slow from that inside post. Taken outside and into contention, I tell you, had a dead aim here. You've got a 3-prong battle up front past the 3/8. Just flattens out the last 1/8 of a mile. Jolly by Golly, who ran awfully good this particular afternoon, called in between horses, is going ahead and widen. But Great Days Ahead, tuned up maybe, third off of a break for trainer. Is it? Yeah, Derek Parham. That's what I thought. He's trying to get back to a better. But Derek Parham here. I think this one will be set up again. Mid-pack, may not have to be used as hard. That inside post just really cost its chances last time. But I think back to the 6 furlongs can take aim and maybe get by late. Tune-in stamps works. Races and buyer figures kind of stack up against these. We'll get that stalking trip 3 wide. We'll try to sustain through the last furlong.
The Great Gazoo to wrap things up. 1-4-8-2 for Keith in race number 2, his first leg in his early pick 4. Race number 3 is a maiden claiming 20,000, going 5.5 on the dirt. For the girls, 4 and 5. Scratch in the 6. Keith, you, myself, and Mackenzie all have Golden Charm for Linda Albert, Forrest Boyce. Your single on your ticket today.
Yeah. It's this looks like the day. Has run okay on a wet track. Some slightly questionable speed types maybe up in front of her. I think Forgotten Gift's going to run better. Had a really brutal beginning last time out, but still, when it comes down to that last 8th, last 16th, Golden Charm looks like the one should follow through the best, and we know the trip that you're going to see from Forrest. She comes away. She'll be saving ground mid-turn, and then it's her decision from the top of the stretch. She really does a great job of saving that for that last 1/8 of a mile. She doesn't pull.
She did it. That's what she did yesterday.
Yeah, and you watch her ride. She usually doesn't go to that stick till about mid-stretch, and she just kind of works the trip from there, really thinks it out. But I think Forgotten Gift, has faced Golden Charm here. See the comment, hop bumped around at the start. Made a little bit of a mid-move. We've got moisture in this track by Bandbox. That moves her up in my book. She's on money, part of that flow as well. Maybe Lena Manana too, because Lena Manana showed that speed a couple races back at Pimlico on a sloppy sealed surface, off a little bit awkwardly in the most recent try. So I think you'll see a little bit more out of her today.
It was tempting at 12-1 to put her on my ticket there. Keith Fustel, 4-1-3-7. Race number 4 starts the Rainbow Pick 6. I did put 1A on my ticket just because I wanted to see a letter, but there we have it, 1A, 7, 9. And we're going to just steal away to the single. Let's cut to the chase. In race number 8, I go with the number 6 Tenebris. That's going to be for Bruno Tessori. Gene Brasino, he's always given nice prices, but new in the barn, and just I think should be able to keep this pace. No problem. Bruno's been able to do that a couple of times with these Faith Wilson runners that he's been getting. So there we have it, a $28.80 ticket. But Keith, let's get back to race number 4, your third leg in your early pick 4 in the starter optional 20,000, a mile on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratching the 1, scratching the 2, leaves obviously the 1A intact. You have the number 1A on top, AC Expressway. Let's go ahead and take a look back at that win back in July.
Yeah, this was really good, and it was a kind of a lone speed up on the lead. So only try at Laurel Park. It runs very close to a top, an 86 buyer figure. Drops in here and is able to kind of sustain and go on by. Couple most recent trips, maybe just a touch too close to the pace on that left lead there. We'd like to see on the correct lead. But going to be a little bit further back today, I think, with the speed types in here. It looks like Running River is going to be the main target. Went very quick and held well. It was 2 for 2 at the 1-turn mile. So this horse is going to be dangerous for Kieran McGee. My biggest problem now, this track has come up wet. Top buyer, 0 for 2 for my top selection, AC Expressway, 54. So so again, if this horse is going to be too short of a price, ease back a little bit. Let's go elsewhere for some prices, and I think you could get that with Running River slightly. Even Fortune's Fool. That horse's trip last time.
It's itching. That horse is itching at me.
I thought it was a tough trip. Was caught wide on a day where that winner, Flat Out Flying, was able to ride the better part of the racetrack, went inside and got it done. At the 1-turn mile, it should draft back a little bit, and then I think Rosato's going to work out a better trip here. This horse has run pretty well for a barn that's just been consistently very good here over the last several months. So 1, 8, 9. Casanova Kitten, first off the claim, could be a Shrewd King. Went down to Turfway Park to go get this guy. Is okay at a mile, and another one I think has the perfect kind of running style here to ramp right up top of the stretch and just keep going grinding that long stretch, the last 5/16, quarter of a mile. So Casanova Kitten, very dangerous, because Martina's going to kind of draft this horse over and save every bit of ground.
Exactly, and this horse can run on a track with some moisture in it, as shown by the 29th of November race. So there we have it, 1-8-8-9-7 for Keith Fustel in race number 4. Let's go to his last leg. Let's go to race number 5. That starts the late pick 5 in this maiden claiming 45, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. Scratch in the 1, scratch in the 5. Keith Keith, you have the numbers 2 on top, and Dalinar now on the rail for Lynn Ashby, J. Ron Barbosa.
And we see this race pretty close. The horses that have run, and Dalinar ran into a buzzsaw in Prado Road for Brittany Russell last time out. But you know what? I went and watched the rerun again. Held very well through pretty good internals. Battled outside of that when Prado Road, the jock said go, that one just went. But you know what? Dalinar really dug in. I just watching that horse compared to everybody else.
Agreed.
The last eighth of a mile. Sometimes you get fooled when you look, oh, they lost a little bit of ground to a horse. Just watch how they finish. Lasix on. Dalinar, I don't even think, obviously off track, Uncle Molino, they can handle that. I don't think this horse necessarily needs the lead either, just what he showed, how he battled there. And he's faced the right kind in the dance who's come back, obviously, Copper Tax. So forward a long way here and definitely has a great chance of winning the 2 Dalinar.
And there we have it. Let's go to the number 7 in Brudder. I pronounce it Brudder for Robbie Bales, Victor Carrasco from that first effort back on the outside.
Yeah, for our brother Ernie Clark.
That's
the
what I
late,
like to
great
hear.
Ernie Clark. My man, Uncle Jerry, all of those guys. I miss them dearly coming to the racetracks. Man, those guys are looking down and pulling for our picks. I know that. The Brudder here on the 24th of November took decent play in a 12-horse field for Robbie's first here for Eagle Point Farm, Karen Denny and the gang down there in Virginia. Caught wide, 4 wide, well within range against the grain into that lone speed. Just a fade here. It kind of kicks up a little bit the last eighth of a mile. I think you'll see a different horse today, first-time Lasix. This is a half to response time who could get the 7/8 speed, could carry it. I think you're going to see an improved Brudder today, 2.794. Villaluz for Corrales. Really got a good trip last time, all set. When I really kind of went back and looked at it, Georgie got this horse down to the inside, maneuvered up, just a little flattening late against maybe, a similar field. I think should work a trip from off the pace. And there's Forrest Boyce again. Summer State of Mind. Back at 7/8, blinkers on, Lasix on. First Lasix, 25% off an OK sample with an ROI hedging towards $4 for Tim Keefe. Got the bomb yesterday. This horse definitely has a chance to move into it. Keys up against horses. That was a key race December 3rd. Go back, Catahoula Moon is on the page. Wouldn't be a shocker to get in there and hit the board.
Same distance yesterday as they got yesterday with that pricey runner. So there we have it with Keith Fustel there in the late pick 5. And we will be right back after this commercial break to kick things going with the late pick 4.
Thoroughbred racing is taking vital steps to make our sports safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
And we're back with the Jackpot Super High 5 and starting the late pick for Keith. This is an acclaiming 10,000 for the girls 4 and up, which have never won 2, going a mile. Big scratch in the 7, looking for water. You and I end up on Catch the Kitten, which I don't know if that was your second choice. It was my second choice, but for Stephen Kyle, J. Ron Barbosa tries second time against winners today.
Yeah, I had her as my top pick. I mean, it was close back and forth, 1-7, but I hedged towards her a little value, and I think she had a little bit more positional speed in that inside. They came out of the same race on the 31st, but the 2-back try is the one I like, even though it was at 5.5, up close to a very quick horse, dropped back, and then came again late, stretching out here for the first time on the main track. By Blame, bottom side, Kitten's Joy off track should be just fine. Half sister, Italian War Cry, nearly pulled it off, separated from a field, just got beat, going this 1-turn mile in a maiden special weight race on the go back. So looking at her own really real speed threat, I think in here would be the 9, Jess's Gypsy Girl. Maybe J-Rod goes ahead and sends and gets aggressive, but I think Catch the Kitten out of that last race is going to be forward enough to stalk and move into it. We caught a horse, I think, last week that stretched out from that sprinter route to the 1-turn mile. We're going to catch one again today here for Steve Kyle and company, Catch the Kitten.
You always forward in your exacta. Georgie Hernandez gets the call on this one again.
Yeah, I just think when back here again, the 1-turn mile is going to suit. 2-back try at Laurel was good enough, never done. Gilda's Girl. Those are horses kind of keying up like looking for water who scratched today, those horses come back and run very, very well. That works. I'll toss the Charlestown race, can get the mile here.
1, 8, 10, 9 for Keith Fustel in that jackpot super high 5 race. Race number 7. We're done with the pools and we're back at a starter allowance. Going a mile on the dirt. Scratching the 3, scratching the 8. You and I both have the number 4, Paradise Pride. Let's go ahead and take a look at that effort that we have on the video reel.
Yeah, December the 22nd, going a mile and a 16. Was not favored here. Ace 9-9 was a slight favorite this particular afternoon. Paradise Pride 3 wide into that first turn is going to have to deal with Money in the Banksy, who's going to go up there and kind of battle for contention. So Paradise Pride, though, had no issues this particular day with the flow and the pressure. And guess who scratched? Money in the Banksy today. And I thought, again, he was going to be that main pace pest, you might say. But Money in the Banksy, he's been trying really hard in his races. Unfortunately, unable to go today. I think he might have been eligible for like a couple days with the day.
Pretty well.
He did.
Yeah,
he
look
did.
at him.
But watch, Paradise Pride has won 7 of his last 9. He can handle an off track. With the scratch of Money in the Banksy, if he breaks cleanly, it's his race to lose on the front end. I think Ace 9-9 is going to be able to kind of get up and track him again. It could be a little bit of a victim of the flow, but he beat him before. They're close, but that scratch of the 3, I think, is a huge help to the 4, Paradise Pride. He'll be probably 3 to 5 when it's all said and done.
Probably 4-1-6-2 for Keith Fustel in race at number 7 as Paradise Pride, both our top selection. Race kind of runs right through him there. I mean, we both have oxide underneath, so this one got it scratched for the claiming 5 to opt to run here today, and will be coming from off of pace.
Yeah, protected. And this one, he rules at a 1-turn mile. He's 5 for 11, 2 seconds, ramping up in very good form. He had to deal with a little bit of traffic. He was paused leaving the far turn, stayed on that best part of the racetrack to get it done. He's going to have to still step off and get back to that prior form, that prior top form. But, again, I think it's well within reach for him to make an impact, in the exactas and tries. Yeah.
And race number 8 is an allowance optional 40, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 3 going to the lead. Let's go ahead and take a look-see at that November 23rd race in the barn of Mikey Gorham.
Yeah, this is another one. 4 for 5 overall on an off track with a win. We're going to be reunited with J-Rod today. Last time out, tried the mile distance. It just didn't work. But back at 3/4 today against this group, I'm hoping he's coming back to a better race, because if he does, he's going to be very dangerous on or near the lead. This particular day, runs against a pretty salty field, is able to take pressure, shake free. Fortunately, Monday morning quarterback just a little too good this last 1/8 of a mile. But he's got some grit. He's got some heart. I think he and Back in the Woods, my other selection in here, you kind of know what you're going to get. They have consistently faced, I believe, better. Back in the Woods, he made that move. I don't know if he's lost just a little bit of a step early. He used to be very, very quick, and now he's kind of coming from a little bit further off of it. But I think with this group, he's going to be right up with the flow. Right. He's always liked an off track. He's run some bang-up races on and off track. So these are the 2 keys for me in race 8. Forward a long, long way. If you're looking for somebody from off the pace, Jeopardy James, horse that has good go-back numbers and brought a tremendous surge last time out to get up after a troubled beginning. I think the X-Man, Marici, these 2 have teamed up and run well. If things get contested up front, this guy, I think, can sustain a run from off the pace.
3-4-1-7 for Keith Fustel in race number 8. Race number 9 is a maiden claiming 12-5, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Keith, you have the number 4, Naughty Streak, on top here for Hugh McMahon. Gina Vello, second start.
Yeah, Vello, another good ride yesterday. Got over that horse. We had the Claceris horse, right? Inside out. Naughty Streak, let's hope for that kind of trip again. I don't know if he's quite got the speed of a couple of these other horses. Maybe Mini Spicer goes along with Return Fire. But a pretty decent debut, a tough ass, 2 turns first time out. They've waited. They've been patient. They've got a couple mile works. Not far behind these other horses. Lasix going on. They thought route all along. They're going to get the chance right back here off a little bit of a break. Again, this is more of a value shot as well because I think he'll stay around that 5-1 morning line odds.
And the number 8 underneath is Return Fire for Rudy Sanchez-Solomon. Johan Rosado just missing the mark last time out. Obviously, it kind of you have to consider this one here.
Yeah, knocking on the door. Four seconds out of 8 tries. He was beating the nose, beating the neck. Is fighting. Again, Lasix going on with, I think, almost every one of these. Very close, not El Delary. But will be thrown into the race early, no doubt about it, with Rosado up forward. Mini Speedster might be a pace threat as well. And lurking will be Mini Mo. I like your top selection here. Liked them last time. Worked out a trip, actually got the lead. So
here's hoping.
Yeah, they're very difficult to separate. I'm just taking this. I wouldn't even say a stranger because he's faced these horses before.
Right.
But just giving that little bit of a freshening. They've waited. They've been patient, saying maybe this horse needed the Lasix, and that's what you're going to get today. Outside trip, 8 post and debut, moves back inside. A couple of these other horses I think will run away from early. Let's get that same kind of trip Alvelo gave his winner yesterday.
Here is hoping. Vino Rosso, 6 for 25 with his second-time routers so far. Keith Fustel, 4-8-6-5 in there for our picks on Saturday. Let's dive into those picks a little bit in this lightning round, Keith. Let's go and start things off in race number 1. You start off right off the bang. Value play 20-1 right now. My Super Sally for Christine Claggett and Darwin Rodriguez.
I think my man Dale Emlyn liked this horse as well. Kind of seeing that Dan and I see races very, very close. We go back, watch film, and key up some things. And looking at this, two wins on a wet track. I think she's going to have to move up just a little bit. But I'm counting on the 4 and the 6 hooking up early and carrying that battle, safe from the half-mile pole, upper stretch. Let this horse get ramped up. It's a shorter field. Going to be able to work out a trip. Let's hope she's right off the freshening.
And we'll see how that happens there in about 37 minutes. And for your value play of the day, or your best bet, excuse me, is in race number 6 at Jackpot Super High 5 race in number 1, Catch the Kitten for Stephen Kyle, J. Ron Barbosa.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to come down off of that line with the scratch of looking for water. But into the race early, we saw one of this track. It might have been last week. It's sealed, muddy, sloppy. That speed carried. They kind of got out there and just kept on going. So I've got the right kind of rider to get this one into the race and chug along. Breeding suggests off track, yes. And then we saw Route of Ground had a sibling run. Pretty good, mile 16th and the one-turn mile.
I just wanted to take a highlight from, Street Loot, of course, our Maryland both 2-year-old and 3-year-old champion. But before we get into that, 27 Maryland breds went through the ring, 24 sold with 21 selling in the ring and 3 post-sale. Keith, here's a number for you. 13 Maryland breds last year sold for $343. This year they grossed $928,000. And Street Loot was the topper there, selling for $200,000, which, of course, she's going to come right back to Maryland because she was sold to R. Larry Johnson as a broodmare prospect. So, of course, we can surely expect her to be back and giving us more Maryland breds.
She was tough. Yeah, she was a little bit of a push button horse when she was right. She just sit there tucked up just off the speed and make that move.
She was fun. She was very fun to watch and a nice, just a wonderful athlete. So best of luck to Larry Johnson and her future endeavors. And here's to more future Maryland racing generations here. Let's go to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck, everybody.